Have you ever lost something you wanted so badly that it physically hurt? Maybe it was a dream job, a relationship, or an opportunity that felt like your last chance at happiness. I want you to remember that pain for a second. Hold on to it. Because I'm going to tell you a story about how the worst day of your life might actually be the luckiest day of your existence. Sometimes you don't get what you want, simply because you deserve something better. This is the story of the flight that was never taken. Leo stood on the curb of Fifth Avenue, the rain soaking through his expensive Italian suit. He checked his watch for the 10th time in 2 minutes. 8:45 a.m. His interview with Sterling & Crow, the most prestigious architecture firm in New York City, was at 9. He had spent 5 years working toward this moment. This wasn't just a job, it was the golden ticket. It was the validation that he wasn't a failure. A yellow taxi screeched by, splashing a wave of muddy puddle water onto his trousers. Leo groaned, looking down at the stains spreading across his leg. He waved frantically for another cab, but New York in the rain was unforgiving. Every light was taken. By the time he finally wrestled his way into a taxi and sat in gridlocked traffic, the clock struck 9:15. When he burst into the lobby of Sterling & Crow at 9:40, the receptionist didn't even look up from her screen. "Mr. Vance? The partners have left for their next meeting. They value punctuality above all else." "I'm afraid your opportunity has passed," Leo begged. He pleaded. He explained the rain, the traffic, the suit, but the door remained closed. He walked out of that skyscraper feeling a heaviness in his chest that made it hard to breathe. He had done everything right. He'd graduated top of his class, worked 80-hour weeks at a smaller firm, and sacrificed his social life for his portfolio. And for what? To be defeated by a rainy day? For the next 3 months, Leo fell into a deep depression. He felt like the universe was conspiring against him. To make matters worse, he saw on LinkedIn that an old college rival, Marcus, had landed the job at Sterling & Crow. Marcus posted photos of the corner office, the view of Central Park, and the high-profile galas. Leo, meanwhile, was forced to take on small, uninspiring freelance work just to pay his rent in a tiny apartment that felt like a prison. One afternoon, his phone buzzed. It was a call from a woman named Clara. "I heard you're an architect," her voice crackled over the phone. "I don't have much of a budget. Actually, I have almost no budget. But I own a small community library in Brooklyn. It's falling apart, and the city wants to condemn the building. I need someone to draw up plans to save it. To show them it has potential." Leo wanted to say no. He designed skyscrapers, not crumbling libraries for old ladies. This felt like a punchline to a very cruel joke. But his bank account was empty, and so was his spirit. "I'll take a look," he sighed, feeling the weight of his defeat. When he arrived at the library, it was worse than he had imagined. The roof leaked, the floors creaked, and the paint was peeling in long, sad strips. But as he walked through the dusty aisles, he saw something else. He saw children sitting on the floor, completely lost in the worlds of tattered books. He saw elderly neighbors playing chess in a quiet corner. He saw a community that had nowhere else to go, a sanctuary that was about to disappear. Clara, a woman in her 70s with bright, defiant eyes and a fierce spirit, handed him a cup of tea. "This building has a soul, Leo," she said softly. "It just needs someone to see it." For the first time in years, Leo wasn't working for a paycheck or for prestige. He was working for survival, not his own, but the community's. He poured his heart and soul into the design. He worked late nights, not because a boss demanded it, but because he wanted to. He reimagined the space, blending the historic brick with modern glass to let the light flood in. Since there was no budget for contractors, Leo picked up a hammer himself. He rallied volunteers from the neighborhood. He learned the names of the kids who came in after school, even helping one with his math homework. He realized that architecture wasn't just about steel and glass. It was about people. It was about creating spaces where life could happen. 6 months later, the new Brooklyn Haven Library opened. It wasn't a skyscraper that pierced the clouds, but in its own way, it was more beautiful. It was a testament to hope and community. A local journalist covered the opening, and the story of the neighborhood coming together to save its library went viral. One evening, during the opening party, a man in a sharp suit walked in. He looked a bit out of place among the diverse, laughing crowd of the neighborhood. He approached Leo. "This is remarkable work," the man said, looking up at the exposed beams that Leo had painstakingly restored. "Organic, human, We don't see this kind of passion anymore. The man introduced himself as Elias Thorne, the founder of Thorne and Associates, a world-renowned firm known for sustainable, human-centric design in Europe. I'm looking for a partner to lead our U.S. expansion, Elias continued. I don't want someone who can just design a glass box. I want someone who understands how to build a heart for a community. Are you interested? Leo was stunned. This was bigger than Sterling and Crow. This was a dream he hadn't even dared to imagine for himself. As he shook Elias's hand, feeling a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in years, his phone buzzed in his pocket. He ignored it, caught up in the moment. Later that night, after the party had wound down, he finally checked the notification. It was a news alert. Scandal at Sterling and Crow. Partners indicted for embezzlement. Firm dissolving. Leo froze. He read the article. The firm had been cutting corners for years, laundering money through construction contracts. The employees, including his rival Marcus, were now tainted by the scandal. Their reputations ruined, facing legal battles and unemployment. If Leo had made that meeting, if the taxi hadn't splashed him, if the traffic hadn't stalled, he would have been in that office. He would have been signing contracts that would have implicated him in the fraud. He would have been working 80 hours a week for criminals, losing his soul in the pursuit of a hollow dream. Instead, he was standing in a library that saved a neighborhood, holding a job offer that aligned with his deepest values. Leo looked out the window at the rain falling on the Brooklyn streets. The same rain that had ruined his suit months ago. He realized now that the rain hadn't ruined his day. It had saved his life. The rejection wasn't a denial. It was a redirection. The closed door wasn't a punishment. It was protection. We so often look at our lives through a keyhole. We see the immediate pain, the immediate loss. We scream at the universe asking, why me? But we can't see what's on the other side of the door. We can't see the bigger picture that's being painted for us. Maybe that breakup is saving you from a loveless marriage. Maybe that layoff is the push you need to finally start the business you've always dreamed of. Leo's story teaches us one incredibly powerful thing. Trust the timing of your life. Even the chaos, even the pain. Because one day, you're going to look back at the moment everything went wrong and you'll smile. You'll smile because you'll realize that was the exact moment everything started going right. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. See you in the next one.